or how to surf the skies, but upside down. How do they do that, I hear you shout? Just tune in Thursday at 8 and you'll find out.
A new series now on BBC1, Terry Wogan slips into the BBC slip-up vault for Auntie's sporting bloomers.
Thank you, my people. Oh, welcome, oh poor deluded viewers, to Auntie's sporting bloomers, and indeed to this particularly dank corner of the BBC's secret subterranean chamber. For this, as my keen detective powers confirmed, when I discovered the very wooden horse used by Bob Wilson to tunnel his way to the other side, is where BBC top dogs work up a sweat, stashing away their sporting secrets. And if you had the misfortune to be standing where I am, the fact that I'm sitting is neither here nor there, you know that references to sweat have an all too grim relevance about them. So we must press on. But let me first dismiss any suspicion that I am here to mock the giants of the potting green, the titans of the track, or the colossi of the courts. No, chums, I'm here to celebrate sport, which has, after all, inspired some of the finest verse of modern times.
Keegan 2, Highway 1, Liverpool 3, Newcastle 0.
Alfred Lord Tennyson must beware. And of course, what could be more glorious than the chance to experience at first hand a world-renowned sporting occasion, perhaps even to sense the gripping excitement of the championships played out each sun-kissed English summer on the green sward that is Wimbledon. Such drama. But of course, what gives all great sporting occasions their hypnotic pulling power is that white heat of competition.
Well, I've never seen this before. Remington Shongwit from Swaziland in lane 3, the only swimmer in this first heat of the men's 200 breaststroke. Let's hope he doesn't false start.
But sadly, some must negotiate the path to sporting fame with a stone stuck in their trainers. Let's extol the brave souls whose quest for glory leads them to leap into the unknown. And I could have told them not to bother.
And the Olympic champion comes down to the final barrier. Oh, and he didn't measure it properly at all.
Coast has always been an attacker, and it doesn't really matter. Oh, what? These championships aren't due.
Oh, that really does mean that. He's off. Well, let's give them the crowd their money's worth up there.
Oh, there's one gone in the water. How often do you see that? I think it's Zukowski, actually.
She's cleared 191. Her previous best was 190. She's now attempting 194.
Oh, he's in desperate trouble there. Zala of Sweden. Pack Stadium. Oh, it's broken! Got to get this absolutely right. Got to spot the water at absolutely the right time.
That'll make your eyes water. Some of those clips brought back memories of my far from illustrious career for Ireland in the long spit. I always choked at the crucial moment. But enough of my problems. There are people out there who need help. people constantly under fire, convinced they're being shot at. People readily identified by shredded nerves, bow legs that couldn't stop a pig in a passage, and most readily their characteristic pose of an anguished head held in two hapless hands.
Quinn comes short. Waits for Winterburn.
Oh, it's in! A horrendous mistake by Martin Hodge. And Nikita's got himself into trouble, and it is no surprise.
And when you're a goalkeeper of David Seaman's standing, you're not allowed to forget these in a hurry.
Eddie Newton just on as a substitute. Good deep cross. Spencer! Oh, it's gone through Lukic! Right through the legs of John Lukic. The goal to haunt him. FC Porto's 1-0 win at Ajax in the European Super Cup provided the comedy moment of the week. Did you spot the Ajax goalkeeper Menzo as Rui Barış ran from the halfway line to score after only 5 minutes? If not, look again.
3 minutes of stoppage time played, 0-0. Torquay sub Richard Hancock sent down his slow delivery right through the lot.
Slight conversation going on off the ball between Hurst and the linesman. Straight back from Boyce! What a goal! A terrible clearance from Corrigan, and Boyce said, take that!
What can be done to help those people? Who better to ask than a man whose exploits as custodian of the old onion bag for the illustrious old Wilsonians' 7th 11 have made him a legend wherever the game is played and Teflon is used to coat saucepans. His only real success came when he was hired to relax and entertain the Brighton team before the FA Cup final. He did his job so well, they lost 4-0. On top of all these problems, he's a vice president of Crystal Palace. Come on, you Eagles. Please welcome the Gordon Banks of North East Kent, Bob the Cat Bevan. Bob. Well, your exploits between the sticks are far famed, of course, but that was horrible to watch, wasn't it?
It was. Actually, the Joe Corrigan thing brings back a rather uncomfortable memory. Actually, a completely true story, believe it or not. A day when I was playing in the old Wilsonians 7th 11 against Addington Manor Super Vets, and I took this drop kick. Not the worst drop kick I've ever taken, but not the best either. And it just about reached the halfway line, second or third bounce. Whereupon the Addington Manor Super Vet midfield dynamo caught the ball superbly on the half volley and smashed it straight back over my head into the net, while I was still completing my follow-through. And our sub on the line called out, he said, you need an answer phone in that goal. Said, I'm sorry, I'm not here at the moment.
It must be a character building job.
Well, a lot of famous people have been goalkeepers, apart from me. I'm just trying to think of a few now. Vladimir Nabokov, who wrote Lolita. He was a goalkeeper. I bet you didn't know that.
No.
And they didn't know it. Look, you're stunned, aren't you? I can tell you. And the Pope, he was a goalkeeper as a young man in Poland. Very good on crosses, I'm told. And this is also true, a little known fact, Julio Iglesias. I don't know if I've said that right.
No, you haven't.
No. Well, I'm not going to say it again anyway.
No,
Anyway, what's his name? He was the reserve goalkeeper for Real Madrid. And his career was ended when he was driving his car and he went into a row of cement mixers, which doesn't say a lot for his eyesight, really, does it? It's a pity his voice remained intact, really. Still.
Do you feel these incidents we saw were the keeper's fault? And if so, how could they go about curing the fault?
Well, I think a common denominator in all the clips we've seen, none of them were wearing glasses. which I've always felt was an essential part of any goalkeeper's equipment, really.
I don't see you diving to save the impossible shot, though.
No. When I was younger, at penalties, I used to go the wrong way. But
was that deliberate? Or?
No. But as I got older, I stand still, and last week one hit me.
Old Ron Atkinson always says that goalies should stand still.
That's what he should know, actually, yeah. Particularly if it's his round, yeah.
Now, we've got some other examples here.
Yes, I believe.
Where the keeper has been maligned.
Yes.
So, I mean, talk us through this, if you will, Bob the Cat.
Yeah. Now, here's a chap. Now, it's not his fault. He was trying to get on that question of sport in what happens next. So, I don't think you can blame him there. Now, the next clip, now this is at Stamford Bridge, terrible conditions, as you can see, awful conditions. There's a molehill right there, and Dave Besant's looking around for the groundsman. On this occasion, and the mole has moved across here, and there it is, it's got in. Now, not his fault, because in fact that goalkeeper was unlucky enough to pick the only member of his team who, unbeknown to him, was a member of a Malaysian betting ring. So there you go. So I don't think you can blame the keepers for any of those instances.
I mean, are you entirely at home with the new back pass law?
Well, I am, funny enough, yes, because no one has passed back to me for 4.5 years. And this all stems, if we've got an hour or two to spare, this all stems from a most unfortunate incident which took place playing for the Old Wilsonian 7th 11 against Pearl Assurance 9ths. And on this heavily waterlogged pitch, I said to our centre-half and captain, Ashley Easton, I said, Ashley, on this heavily waterlogged pitch, couldn't you start chipping the back passes? And he said, why? I said, well, firstly, a lot of them aren't reaching me. And secondly, and even worse, those that are splashing my glasses. True story, that.
Oh, yeah. I believe it. I believe it. Now, you've had a distinguished career, albeit one that hasn't been seen by a lot of people, apart from Wilsonian fans. If you had a single piece of advice that you could offer to any young custodian, what would it be?
Well, I would say try not to get too near the ball, because if you're too close to it, it can be considered to be your fault.
Wise words indeed. Bob the Cat Bevan.
Thank you.
So as the cat disappears off into the night, still managing to avoid the teammates who want to get him seen to, let us remind ourselves that the men between the sticks are not the only ones guilty of the kind of error that you just can't miss. And then again, anything's possible.
And in this weather, he's taking all the time in the world because he's allowed to kick it. He can't blow time until it's kicked. It's all on the goal. What a grandstand finish this is. He's missed it! He's missed it! It's on the ground, he's missed it! Well, and there goes the whistle for time.
The tragic truth, as the contents of these old shelves all too readily confirm, is that nothing is certain in this game. What can be done to increase your chances of success? For this week's expert guide along the glory trail, over to an athlete who stood on more rostra than Andre Previn, and he has the face and form of a Greek god as well. And I'm sure there are other reasons that I should hate him for, but I can't think of them. Over to Roger Black.
Thanks, Terry. I'm glad to see your diet's still going well. There are no shortcuts to success on the track, and you won't do this.
Roger Black's going to win this one. Defends his title magnificently.
Without all of these. Number one, dedication. It's vital. And if you really want to fulfill your potential, you mustn't let any obstacle stand in your way.
Now 26, a member of the Polytechnic Club, switched off. And the celebration went slightly wrong, but he won't mind at all about that. And he smashed the hurdle, and he still can't do it. Poor Alan is a lot more tired than he thought.
Number two is a sense of direction. You must have a clear idea of what you want to achieve and where you're going.
And he said, as soon as I get 600 metres from this finished gantry, I'm going to go as fast as I possibly can if I'm in the leading group. Well, he's in the leading group, he's gone the wrong way. So the race is over for Benson Coedge.
Number 3, complete concentration. When you go to the blocks, you must put everything out of your mind, except for the gun. Number 4, running your own race. Never look round to see what all the other athletes may be doing. Number 5, focusing on the tape. Not what's in front of it or what's behind it, just the tape.
Well, thanks to Roger Black, he's a bit like myself. Eats anything he likes, never puts on a pound. But I can endorse the importance of concentration for a top sportsman. I mean, look what happened to Alain Prost after he forgot to renew his membership of the AA. Now, I have a shocking revelation. Look closely, if you will, at this next piece of tape to identify the perpetrator of a bizarre assault on the referee.
The referee has gone down.
Yes, your old eyes did not deceive you. The assailant was none other than that nice, clean-cut Trevor Brooking in a past life. The thing is, if even that nice, clean-cut Trevor Brooking is capable of decking the man in black, who with any sense would want to be the man or the woman in the middle?
Umpire's injured. Yes, he hit that pretty hard, as you can see now. The power of Gooch into that. Very late to take evasive action there.
Oh, he's got them going. Off they go, but in the wrong direction. And they're saved by the tree, except the referee, who seems to have gone through it.
Cueto. Oh, but the referee stood right in the way of Velasquez, and here's Antonioni, and Diaz has to bring him down, and the referee has lost his calm, he's lost his composure.
Cowie gets it away to Miles, he's in! McGinty. The linesman getting in the act inadvertently, but it wasn't a bad attempt at a header from Bill Robinson, who was just running back there when the ball hit him.
Oh dear, I felt that myself.
Ian Williams, the Wallaby, tremendous pace this man has, elusive too, still going. 5 metres out, finally forced into touch, and the touch shed Stephen Kelly.
I'm sure they're going to have to start wearing helmets sooner or later.
Of course, sometimes there are some compensations for the bruised and battered official.
Oh! Good heavens.
What we must remember, of course, is that these days, it's not only the officials who find themselves in the thick of things. What about the paying customers?
This is Peter Sundström. Roberts coming across for him. Oh, my goodness. I have never, ever seen that in the years I've been watching ice hockey.
That was a good flick on, but the ball will run for a goal kick.
Optic call comes to it. Oh, he's nearly gone. He's unchipped his partner. He's gone.
The angle is impossible. In fact, the ball beat him, I think. Touch of ice hockey straight over the boards.
Possibly the most dangerous man, and all these three cannot find a gap to get through. And we lost. We are a wheel flying through the air and towards the paddock.
Maybe he's so fed up with the game, he wants to have a seat in the crowd and see if it looks better from that position.
And no sighting of Eric Cantona. But enough of the hurly-burly. Let's raise the tone more than somewhat in about time and relax in the glow of the golden larynx of the man they call the very voice of golf.
Hang on, Andy, hang on.
From the bunker, all the people from the bunker on, just to either keep an eye out or just go 20 yards back. From the bunker on, about then.
I don't know. I'll keep trudging around this course with him. I spend the best years of my life with this fella. All he does, up the fairway, down again. It's a wonder he doesn't get me holding the flag. Oh, blimey, O'Reilly. I'm going to get a good payday, whatever happens. Wish lummy Charlie. I can't wait to get in for a bite. Clear off out of the way. Oh. He owns and operates a ferocious temper on the golf course. He's got the lid on it at the moment, but he's boiling inside. Just steaming, just a wisp of steam coming up. Just, if you watch, you just see a little wisp. Oof. Do I detect a grey hair?
Really has got some problems, Peter, with that umbrella, wouldn't you say? Not going to fix it, is he?
I don't know. Mind you, I've seen one or two old pros make suites of furniture out of things like this, and excitement at the 18th green. Not a lot of fuss about a little thing like that. Well, a sad end. A little cameo there of life. How many of you have ended up in the dustbin of life?
Too close to the truth there. Talking of the dustbin of life, I often bump into him down here. I can only assume he hasn't got a proper job either. In any event, he's here tonight, Peter Alice.
But it's
Come and join me at this lavishly appointed table with 2 beer mats and nothing else. I was just thinking, looking at that Nick Faldo tape, did your perceptive comments on Andy Prodger have anything to do with him being replaced by Fanny Sunesson?
I don't think so. He's a good lad, Andy. Very nervous, though, wiry and ferret-like, you know. And sort
Bit
of
like ourselves.
But yes, yeah. Sort of greyhound rather than the old Labrador
it's
type.
A gift,
you know, it's a gift.
Yeah.
But Andy was going up, and it just looked at me as, geez, I don't know why he's going up. He's got all the room in the world over there. Why? Well, I want to get in. It's 5:30. You know, that sort of thing. It just struck me that that's what he would be thinking here.
Yeah, but have you ever opened the microphone with your head full of thoughts and suddenly nothing coming out of your mouth?
No, I've never done that. But that's I suppose that's a quiet inner arrogance. I mean, if you ask me about anything from religion to capital punishment, I'd give you an answer. Whether you agreed with it or not, or whether I believed it myself, I wouldn't know. But something would spew out some nonsense.
When you do it for the American networks, do you adjust your words? Do you, with the greatest respect to Americans, do you hold down the 3-syllable words and try and keep it all keep it all monosyllabic?
Well, no, it's just different. Things are different over there. There are certain things you have to say just to be understood. But I always say bunker. I never say trap. And I refuse to say he's on the backside. You know, he's on the inward. The inward nine's okay for me, not the backside. You know, he's got a wind gusting from his rear.
Yeah.
There's another one. There's not too attractive.
No. Well, you've seen your share of strange things go on in a bunker, but I bet you haven't seen anything stranger than this.
And we've done it again. Lovely way to get a hernia, but out it comes. Isn't it amazing? The whole of Ayrshire round and about, and you have to drive it into a pot bunker. That's about the truth, too, the whole of Ayrshire. That was at the Open Championship. I think it was at Royal Troon. And you imagine going out for the day with a car and you just tell the dear little wife that you're going to go out with old Bertie, and you go out with the sandwiches and you have a couple of sherbets. You just reverse it back in the middle of 50,000 acres and you're in dear old Dante's bunker.
Well, that would be... You've seen very few more more bizarre sights?
Oh, there's lots of things happen. There's some remarkably amusing and sad things that happen. But the most remarkable single shot I've ever seen was a putt at Gleneagles. It was during one of our Pro Celebrity Golf Series.
Oh,
the
really?
18th green.
Do tell.
The 18th green, a young slip of a lad had a putt of close on 100 feet across this green. And I made a facetious remark as he was over the putt that he'd be very lucky to get down in X number of shots. And just look what happened.
Now Wogan, and he'll be doing very well if he gets down in 3 or 4 from here. Gives it a mighty old clunk, and it's hopping and running and going and looking rather good and slowing down, and it wouldn't, it can't. The greatest putt I've ever seen in my life.
And you know the really annoying thing, lots of people think that that was a fluke.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. That was absolutely true. But the thing that was even more stunning was your 32-inch waist.
Where are the snows of yesteryear? Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Allis. Thank you. Peter Allis, far famed for his work with the Mashie Niblick, and indeed the rutting iron. Sadly, not before the 9 o'clock watershed. Let's move, he's a family man. Let's move on, and swiftly at that, I've more revelations culled from these shelves, moments when sporting pride inevitably led to only one thing.
My goodness. Racing into the closing stages, and Jellyby nearly down there. He's unshipped. He's unshipped. Donner's gone on to win it. Straight off the back. And the horse not quite sure what he's going to do up there, but of course it is a part of a fence. It really has to jump it from there.
Beginning to work itself up into quite a contest. Oh, trip. Oh. Last one up, Sir Sissy.
Don has been...
Has he got the call?
A man's life here at the BBC, the old cold showers. You can make so many good friends there. Now, at this point, I have to tell you, the programme's all but over. News which I know will cause much anxiety in some quarters. Now, in the meantime, I should remind you, it's not over till it's over.
56.68. It's tight to do that, but he's really... And look at that, Greenjoy. Could you get closer? He's 2 steps away from the line.
Anybody hear the fat lady sing? Now, as a matter of fact, we're going to finish on a song. Some people say selling Andy Cole to Manchester United will prove to be Kevin Keegan's biggest mistake. Not while this remains for a waiting posterity. Good night.
What would you do if I sang out a tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me?
I might do, he's a bit good, isn't he?
Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song, and I'll try not to sing out of key.
Ooh, I get by with a little help from my friends. Ooh, I get by with a little help from my friends. Ooh, I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends, with a little help from my friends.
Another game attempt at getting it right next week in Auntie's Sporting Bloomers at 8:30. And it's a visit to Terry's birthplace tomorrow evening at 7:30 in Wogan's Island. Sibling rivalry escalates with murderous consequences. My Son Johnny starting shortly on BBC2.
How does a Mountie spend his Friday nights? Heading for the streets. Heading for trouble. Heading for a fall.
You realize I'm going to have to confiscate that.
Fraser heads due south. Fridays at 8 on BBC1.
Like thousands of other children, John Williams grew up in a Barnardo's home, believing that he was an orphan.
There's this strong sense of being separate. I need to feel connected.
As their policy of protection is removed, family records are exposed.
Being the mother of John Williams. I didn't know she'd written all this stuff for me.
Rejection and reunion. Painful histories are revisited in the second part of Barnardo's Children, in half an hour.
On BBC1 now, the 9 o'clock news with Michael Burke.
The United Nations operation in Bosnia is on the brink of collapse tonight after the Bosnian Serbs overran one of the so-called safe havens. NATO airstrikes failed to stop them taking Srebrenica. UN peacekeepers are fleeing along with thousands of refugees. President Yeltsin's been taken to hospital with heart trouble. And after 2 days of trouble, the Orange Men have marched through Portadown in silence. Good evening. The UN spokesman in Sarajevo has described the Bosnian Serbs' capture of